What's going on, y'all? This Pedo back with another book review. Today we doing Mental Toughness and True Grit by Mark Dweck. I believe I'm saying his name right. If I'm not, don't kill me in the comment sections. I believe it's Mark Dweck. This was a great book. It's about mental toughness and, true grit, developing, becoming a better man. The reason why I'm reading this book is because I'm trying to develop. I'm trying to get more disciplined. I'm trying to grow, learn, evolve, and become a better man every single day. I'm trying to. So don't think me reading this book to you is as if I got it all figured out, because I don't. I'm just giving y'all what I'm working on currently. I always bring y'all what I'm working on. So that's what this book is. Mental Toughness and True Grit by Mark Dweck. Let's get into it. It's Pedo with another book review. Let's get it. So one of the things that he talked about in Mental Toughness and True Grit was the power of mental toughness. And mental toughness is about staying focused. It's about being persistent. It's about being resilient in the face of adversity, in the face of anything that you're dealing with, no matter if it's athletic or just in life in general. But that's one of the main things that he talked about in this book, is being resilient and pushing through while you're facing adversity. He talked about elite performers and how they do that, from athletes to Navy SEALs, and how their mindset is built to endure pressure situations and adversity and setbacks. So that was like one of the good things about this book that he talked about, was pushing through adversity and not getting knocked off your square so easily. So that was one of the things that he talked about, one of the key points in the book that he talked about that I thought was like really good, really dope, like, you know what I mean? Another thing that he talked about in Mental Toughness and True Grit was developing self-discipline. This was another key point. He said success comes from consistent habits and disciplined actions, and not motivation alone. And he was talking about how you have to develop this discipline and these habits in order to get to the place that you want to go. Daily routines was one of the main ways that he talked about how you can develop this discipline and these actions to get you to build on this foundation step by step to get you to where you want to go. So that was also one of the key points. And another dope part that I thought was about this book was how you have to develop discipline, and it doesn't just come overnight, and you cannot rely on motivation alone, because if you rely on motivation alone, then it's going to fail you almost every time, because it's not always there. The third thing he talked about in Mental Toughness and True Grit, he talked about a champion's mindset and how winners think differently, how they embrace the challenges, they learn from their failures, and they stay committed to their long-term goals of everything they're trying to do. They remain confident in belief in themselves, and that's one of the things that help them stay disciplined and overcome all of their obstacles and adversity by that self-belief and believing in that they're capable and it's possible to do whatever they want to do. So that was another amazing thing that I thought was in this book, was that champion mindset. And coming from where I've come from, I've been around a lot of different champions, and I see how they just push through, and how regardless of the situation, regardless of what's going on, they know, like, okay, I'm gonna get back. So even in a loss, a lot of times with the champions I'm around, they are eager to get back to the point where they can avenge that loss or get that loss in the past as much as they possibly can. They look forward to the next opportunity they can perform to show that that's not their best and they can do better. They don't sit there and just cry and whine about the loss. They are ready to bounce back and get back to show that they are winners and get back on that winner's track. You feel me? Another thing that he talked about in his Mental Toughness and True Grit was the willpower of a Navy SEAL, and how that should be the goal, to develop our willpower and our discipline to that point. He talked about how willpower is like a muscle, and it grows stronger with practice and effort, and pushing past these mental or physical limitations is things that can always help you benefit and help you grow and to help you train your willpower to develop and become better. He was saying you have to be disciplined and train and pass anything that your limitations believe is true, and being the exposure to discomfort. I'm sorry, I keep stumbling. The exposure to discomfort will help you develop that willpower as well. And these are the things that he talked about in this book that I thought was amazing, because you always hear in every other book that you read how comfort is the death of men, and comfort is always the worst thing. Make yourself uncomfortable if you're really trying to grow, if you're really trying to evolve, if you're really trying to accomplish some high achieving goals. You'll have to learn to be comfortable in the discomfort, being comforted in that kitchen and that fire. So that's one of the things that he talked about that I thought was amazing in his book, Mental Toughness and True Grit. So the fifth key point was Spartan level self-control. Now, I thought this part was amazing because I'm big on being able to control my emotions as much as I possibly can. Controlling your emotions, your impulses, and your reaction to remain focused and make rational decisions is something that I'm big on. Avoiding distractions and temptations, because that just derail everything that you're trying to do. Whenever a fighter is trying to get in camp, he try to limit all the distractions so he can focus on getting better, staying sharper, paying attention to every little detail that he possibly can, because some split seconds matter when you're in there fighting another man trying to take your soul. So that's one of the main things that I loved about this point, was just staying on point and having the self-control. I say hypothetically, you get hit with a shot you don't like, you can't show it. You can't be so obvious to be like, oh, that hurt, or you don't like something, or you're discomfort. You got to remain calm. You got to remain solid. You cannot show these emotions in a lot of different ways. Even in regular life, like even if somebody cuts you off or somebody piss you off. I got an example today. It really made my day, to be honest. I was in Dunkin' Donuts. I was on my phone. I wasn't paying attention. This white girl cut in front of me and took my spot in line in the drive-thru. And I laughed. And she saw me laughing in the mirror because I thought it was funny because it was something I would do. And I laughed. She saw me laugh. And she ended up buying me breakfast because I maintained my self-control. I didn't let her get upset. I saw the humor in it. I looked at it differently. And it was a win-win situation. So sometimes maintaining your emotions and not be so quick to react, staying focused in a lot of different ways can be beneficial in ways more than just getting a free breakfast, but just in general, as a fighter, as a regular person, as a civilian, no matter what you're trying to do, maintaining self-control will always take you the way to a win. You feel me? So the 6 key points to this book, Mental Toughness and True Grit, he talked about resilience and grit. He was saying like the true grit means persistent when things get tough and the ability to keep going despite the setbacks. And he was saying like any failure is just a learning opportunity. It's not a roadblock. Do not look at it as if it's the end of everything. It's just an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to grow into a different perspective, learn how to do it a different way, or become better at whatever you're doing. It's not a roadblock. Do not look at a failure as the end all, the be all. It's just a momentary glitch into whatever you're trying to accomplish or whatever you're trying to do. Don't get caught up into the point where it's like, oh, I failed, that's it, it's a wrap. No, it's just a roadblock. It's just a way to go around. It's just a speed bump. It's not going to stop you from where you're trying to go as long as you don't quit. A winner is only a loser when he quits. If you keep pushing, you're going to get exactly where you need to go. You with me? And the 7th key point to mental toughness and true grit, he talked about becoming elite as a person, as a man, as a woman, as anything that you're in your profession, becoming elite. He said success is not about talent, but it's about mastering the mental game of whatever you're trying to do. That's the key point to mental toughness. He talked about committing to lifelong improvement, challenging limits, and maintaining a relentless determination to get to where you got to get. So those was like the 7 key points to this book that I thought was amazing, and how it could potentially help all of us become better at self-discipline, being tough, and developing our grit to get to the level of high achievement that we all seeking and trying to get to. You with me? One of the dopest things that he said in this book that I thought was amazing, he was like, mental strong people are flexible and they understand other people's perspective. He was saying fake strong people only see things one way and can't handle the lack of control and can't embrace difference of opinions or difference of ways of handling whatever issues that come around. And I always try to learn and try to adapt and try to understand and maintain myself at the same time in different environments, because once you start learning and understanding other people's environments and understanding the way they think, it'll help you understand different perspectives and different ways to go about different things instead of their own way, where you only in your own narrow perspective or narrow mind. This world is so vast and there's so many things going on that we have no idea about. But if you're so narrow-minded and so caught up in your own world, there's so many opportunities, there's so many blessings, there's so many gifts that you're going to miss because you're not trying to hear nothing, you're not trying to listen to nobody else, you're not trying to be agreeable, you're not trying to do anything. You're just trying to maintain who you are, how you move, and what you think. And sometimes that can be extremely limited, especially if your exposure is not on the level where it needs to be. So true leadership are more flexible, they understand other people's perspectives, and they find a way to make it work regardless of what's going on, and not being stuck in your ways in a way where you're not trying to understand or see anything outside of your own bubble. That was one of the dopest things in the book that I thought was good. A couple more quotes that I thought was amazing in True Grit and Mental Toughness, the book. He said that self-discipline is a power within. Stop being a slave to your desires. No discipline is no self-control. And discipline helps you finish whatever you started. These are some of the key points that I love when I read this book, and how you have to develop discipline. It does not come. You cannot rely on motivation alone. You have to become disciplined in whatever you're doing. And that's why I'm reading this book, so I can become better at what I'm trying to do. So self-discipline is a power within. Stop being enslaved by your desires. Having a discipline, no discipline is no self-control. And discipline helps you finish. Those are some of the amazing things that I thought was in this book. Another thing in the book, Mental Toughness and True Grit. This is for my young guys, man. My young guys, young women, that's a little bit more impressionable. Negative thinking, negative environments, and negative behavior will kill any discipline that you're trying to establish or develop. Remember, listen, negative behavior, negative environments, and negative thinking will kill any discipline, any growth, any hopes, any dreams, anything that you're trying to accomplish. So make sure whoever you're around, whoever you build your rapport with, whoever's in your circle, who's ever in your community, they think positively. They move positively. Their behavior is positive. It's uplifting. It's pushing you to be a better person and developing the inner core, the inner strength, the inner version of who you are. Somebody always talking down to you. Somebody always talking slick. Somebody always being doubtful. Somebody don't believe. Somebody don't think shit is possible. Somebody always making excuses. Somebody that don't want nothing out of life. All of these qualities you need to stay far away from and run away from. Always be around people that's going to push you to do better, be better, and believe more. Believe all your dreams is possible. Always surround yourself with dumb people. Watch out for these ignorant people that you do not need to be around at all. Please. You with me? Another couple things that he talked about in Mental Toughness and True Grit. He talked about how you need to list your ambitions and your reasons why you're doing what you're doing. You need to write them down, and you need to speak them into existence so you can constantly remind yourself the why. The why is, why am I getting up for work? Why am I going to school? Why am I dragging myself to these workouts? Why? So you can always remind yourself and have it in the back of your head to why you're doing what you're doing. Also, another thing that he talked about is never a perfect time to get started. It's never a perfect way to get started. It's never going to be the sun is perfectly in the sky, the stars align, the moon is bright, and bruh, just go. Just do what you got to do to get started, because all you got to do is just start. A lot of times when I do stuff, I don't have the full plan. Just like the previous book I just read, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he said, have a broad vision of where you're trying to go just to help yourself get started. Do not be limiting yourself with your ideas and your beliefs and worrying about all of the minute details in the beginning, because it'll stop you from getting started. Just get started. Just get started. You with me? Just get started. Another thing that he talked about in his book, Mental Toughness and True Grit, was staying away from temptation when you know that's what you're trying to get away from. Hypothetically, food. If I know I need to lose weight, which I do, when I know I need to do better, which I do, is I can't be at steakhouses every day. I can't be around wings every day and all the nonsense that I want to eat all the time and still expect myself to be successful. If I want to do that, I need to stay away from the temptation. If your temptation is alcohol, don't be in the bars all the time. If your temptation is weed, don't be around smokers all the time. Whatever your temptation is, you need to avoid it as much as possible so you can stay focused and disciplined on what you're trying to accomplish. Just avoid the temptations the best way you possibly can. Especially for my guys, if your timeline is full of cheeky cheeks, bro, reset your timeline. There's a feature app on your phone where you can go online and reset your timeline. Just stay away from the temptation and start more positive, more uplifting, more educational stuff. These are just examples of ways we could do better as far as staying focused and avoiding the temptation moving forward. Another thing in Mental Toughness and True Grit he talked about was rewarding yourself with self-care, not anything destructive. Rewarding yourself with go and get a facial, go get a massage, a healthy smoothie, a healthy drink, or get your nails done, your toes done, go get a face pill, something positive, go clean the house. Reward yourself with self-care. Go stretch, go run, stuff like that. Don't reward yourself with triple decker from Wendy's or some weed or some alcohol. Any of those things is not necessarily rewards, because they necessarily can be harmful in the long run, especially if you're trying to avoid the addictive nature that we can possess. So the point of it is reward yourself with self-care to take care of yourself in the long run. That's what he's trying to get to. Not saying that all drinking is bad or all alcohol is bad. This is for speaking to addictive behavior than anything, just so we're on the same page. You with me? Another thing, and it's the last thing that I'm going to talk about in Mental Toughness and True Grit, he talked about getting more organized and coming out with a plan. Set your plans for the days, for the weeks, for the month, so you can get ahead and know what you're trying to do. There's so many times where it's things that I want to accomplish, I want to do, or what I need to do, and I get so distracted by nonsense on my phone or people texting me or situations, and I completely forget what I meant to do that day. So he's talking about writing it down, getting more organized, and being more focused on what you're doing. Also, the power of creating vision boards and the power of seeing everything that you wrote down and that you need to do. Because there are mental power in being visual and seeing what you've documented, what you've accomplished, what you're trying to do, and where you're trying to go. So that was another thing that I thought was amazing in this book, True Grit and Mental Toughness, or Mental Toughness and True Grit, which was an amazing book. If you have read it, let me know what y'all think. This is Pito back with another book review. Leave it in the comment sections if you like this book. If you have any thoughts and ideas about it, let me know. It's Pito back with another book review. We out. Let's get it.
What's going on here? This is Pito. If you into books, you into reading, you into learning, hearing things that you never heard, stories that you never heard, and learning to work on your mental health, to develop it, becoming a better person, a better man, a better son, a better father, follow me, subscribe. Help me get my subscribers up. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Right now I'm at like 2. But nah, in all seriousness, if you're really into the things that I'm into, follow me. I'm going to be dropping dope content all the time. It's Pito. Check me out. Follow me. Engage with me. Let me know y'all want to read some books, what y'all want to talk about. I'm here. It's Pito. Let's get it.